Alright guys, Greg here again, Rack and Rock Chronicles. We're working through my portion of the Backcountry gear list, and I promise Keith will have his done soon. He's had all kinds of stuff going on between the house and regular work, so jump back in, and now we're going to focus on the gear. Now, some of the items I've already showed you, whether it was with the optics portion or with the worn gear, so I'm going to work through those real quick. So one of the very first things on the gear portion is the glassing pad. Now the glassing pad, obviously, you're using in your optics portion. It's meant to be, used as a seat when you're glassing. So I put that into the optics portion, but not on the direct list. So when you're reading the list, it's still under gear. So again, that came in at 1.6 ounces and $10, and that's a 12 by 20 pad. So, I mean, use it around camp, use it for glassing, whatever you can use it for. I have it actually rolled up in my sleeping pad, so that way it's out of the way. I don't have to worry about it taking up space in my pack, and it's ready to go when I need it. One of the other things that we talked about was the water purification. And I showed you that because obviously my water bottle is on my pack when I'm hiking in. I have my Sawyer inside my hose, or connected to the hose of my bladder. Which is now installed on the bladder. I'll show that to you later on. And the Grail, which is the other water purification that I use. So those couple things, and I'm sorry, the protein shaker, which was from Wilderness Athlete. You'll see that again in another video coming up here in the cook kit. But this is going to walk through the other stuff that you should have in your pack. It's gear that you need. So one of the first things that you'll see on this list is archery backups. So keep in mind, this is an archery hunt, so you're going to want to have a couple extra items with you. One, especially in my instance, I use a single pin sight. So God forbid something happened to my sight tape, you always want to have a spare sight tape ready to go. So I keep that in my pack. An extra knock. If you bust one, it breaks off, falls out of an arrow, whatever the case may be, always good to have an extra. An extra release. I always carry an extra release with me. That's the worst thing that can happen. I use thumb releases, so if it's connected to my bow and we're on a stock and by accident I bump the trigger and it falls, I know that in my pack I have a spare so I can grab it. Normally they're the same. Once in a while it may differ a little bit, but not very far. So it's the same anchor. Everything feels the same. It's just a backup. Allen wrenches, obviously. You've got to adjust the sight, adjust limbs. Anything on a bow is basically an Allen key. One of the other things very important to archers is a D-loop. And normally we would say carry an extra piece of D-loop with you. However, I did not touch on something for the purpose of this. So if you go all the way back to the very first video on my Initial Ascent pack and rain cover, the guys at Initial Ascent were smart enough to go, hey, wait a minute, let's make this easy. So the drawstring on the rain cover pouch is actually D-loop material. So you have 11 inches of D-loop that you don't have to worry about having one little piece. So God forbid something happened to your D-loop, you can cut a piece off of this cord and you'll still be able to cinch this bag shut and have a new D-loop. So again, Initial Ascent thinking way outside the box and giving you something that you should have on you at all times. So that takes care of that portion. Next would be Chapstick. This is going to be a personal preference thing. I'm just a fan of the original Chapstick, so this is what I keep. Guys will go crazy with all kinds of different lip balms and stuff. This is what works for me. I've been using it since I couldn't tell you how long ago. So I keep this, it's usually in a pocket on my person. If not, I'll keep it in one of my Viam gear grabs. So from there, you'll go to your hunting license. Obviously, you have to have a license, whether you're hunting or fishing. But in this case, pretty basic. It's going to be your piece of paper with your tag on it, your regular license. Normally I keep it in some sort of little waterproof pouch, and again inside the lid of underneath side of the lid on my IA6 is a small zipper pocket, and that's where I'll keep it unless it needs to be displayed. So make sure you pay attention to whatever state you're hunting in, rules and regs on whether that license has to be displayed or not. Face paint was on the original list. I don't use face paint ever, even when I'm duck or goose hunting. So I just wiped it right off of our list. There's no need for it. The water purification we went through, the water container, which is my Grail, or the Wilderness Athlete blender bottle. And then you're going to go to the obvious. Everybody has a cell phone. I do not have a price included on our list because, well, just about everybody nowadays has a cell phone. If you don't, even better, it's less weight. I just did not put a price in there because you're already paying for it. Normally you're on a contract plan with whatever carrier you have. It's broken up into monthly payments, so there's no sense in putting a price in there like they did on the original list. You're not going out to buy a brand new phone just to go on a hunt. So you already have your phone, you already have your plan, that's all set in stone. It's no new money that you have to spend. So it is on the list for weight purposes, but there's no money involved. And now we're going to get into something that anybody, aside from a phone in case of emergencies, should have. And on the original list from Go Hunt, they had a GPS and then they had your Inreach unit. So Inreach used to be owned by Delorma. Basically, Delorma sold out to Garmin. Garmin now holds the Inreach, but what they did was they brought two different versions of a GPS unit and an Inreach together. So the one that we picked for the list is the Garmin GPS 66i, and that includes the Inreach. The I is for Inreach. The thing you have to keep in mind with an Inreach is you must buy a plan in order to use it. But instead of carrying two separate units, a GPS and an Inreach, use one. Makes life much easier, it's less weight, and it's only one thing that you need to worry about instead of two things you need to worry about. So GPS, obviously you throw an Onyx card or a base map card, or an offline map on your phone from base map or Onyx, whichever you choose to use. And then your Inreach is your basically satellite type communicator, whether it's text messages, emails, that type of thing. So the combined unit is $600. If you do them separately, it works out to almost $700, depending on the GPS you pick. The Inreach does come in two versions. There's a mini and a standard. Obviously, again, with a GPS, it's one size unit. The Inreach capabilities are built into it. You're ready to rock and roll. Wind check, as I showed you with our FHF gear harness, it does have the wind check bottle that comes with it. It's already on that pack, so again, I don't have that built into this because it's on the warm gear portion. So the price and weight do not get included in this version or on this list. So now we're going to get into where we went a little above and beyond. So keep in mind, the original list had one water purification piece of equipment, and that was tablets. I do not like the tablets. Maybe it's my taste buds or whatever, but I taste whatever that is in that tablet, and I do not like the taste of it, so I don't use tablets. Sure, you'll save some money. And again, we included two different versions of water purification on my list. So already, you think we're already above what their price was, but in reality, it's not. So the next thing that we're going to get into is your kill kit. And excuse me one second, I just have to refresh the computer here so I can see my list. But again, we're talking a Viam Gear Grab, and this thing, my entire kit for when I get to my game, if I've shot something, when I'm going to gut it, debone it, or quarter it, is all in this bag. So keeps everything where I need it. And if you saw the video that I did the other day, on an add-on, and I said it would be on this list. It is now on the list, and that's your pack-a-pole. So I have my one rope that goes around the tree is in the bag. My other two pieces of rope, which will hoist my game, are right here, and all of my pulley pieces are inside the bag as well. So aside from that, I've got rubber gloves for when I'm gutting and my knife. So this is finally the first time we get to showcase a little piece of Vargo Outdoors. This is their titanium clip knife. So get a little closer here for you to check it out. So it does come with a sheath that just covers the blade portion. Okay, take that off. You've got your blade. On the back you do have a clip, so if you wanted to clip it onto your pack, you could. Super easy to use. Even though that there's no actual handle, my finger stays below the blade when I'm using it. I can use my thumb on the backbone to, slice or, skin. It's all right there. What's really great about this is this guy weighs a whopping 0.7 ounces, and you can buy it from their website for $60. And it's titanium. So it's not like you're going to just beat the crap out of this blade and it's going to be no good. What I do like is the way the sheath actually goes on. So once you have the blade in, there's a button right here, and that goes inside the cutout in the handle. I can snap it together. That sheath's not going anywhere. So knife, gutting gloves, rope for my pulleys to hoist my game, and the rest of my pack-a-pole. Fits beautifully inside my gear grab, and now I know where everything is. I don't have to guess, where's my knife, where's my gutting gloves. Don't have to worry about it. It's all right there. So I can literally get that put into my pack and don't have to worry about it. The only other item, which I didn't grab, but everybody knows what they are. So your GPS/Inreach unit will need AA lithium batteries. So we left those on the list. They're 2 ounces, and they are $7.95 for a 4-pack. So other than that, if I go over here and I change, as soon as I see where it was. So for our entire gear, as far as archery backups, my GPS and satellite communication, my cell phone, my kill kit, what am I missing? All of our filters and my glassing pad, which is totaled in on this portion of the list. So on the Go Hunt list, it was $1,522. That's a lot of money for some gear. And they were at 2.58 pounds. Okay, we got it down to $920.83 at 2.35 pounds. So I mean, that's a huge difference. Again, you're saving $600 and some dollars. Now granted, most of that's going to be from the phone because they added that on there, but I literally put in 2 water filters that cost basically triple what their water filtration costs, and still stayed underneath that amount. So if you go to one of their newer lists, I think it was the last one they put out, they didn't put the phone pricing in there, and they didn't put some other, they were still at $977. So regardless of me having the phone on there or not, if we use their last list that they had, which was for a 2000 or for a super early season antelope hunt, we still save $50. So I mean, $50 is $50 when you're paying for a non-resident tag somewhere. I actually just looked into something because there's a slight chance of an elk hunt in Utah, and a non-resident license or tag for an elk in Utah is $593, not including my license, and that's $93 with a fishing license. So I mean, there's a good chunk of change that, hey, I just saved all this money on gear, I can afford to buy that license. So that's the gear. As far as kill kit and little extras, the next thing we're going to work on, and you'll see here shortly, is the cook kit, where you'll see exactly what we're going to use to cook our food. And then the last thing will actually be, there'll be one other thing. So you have your cook kit, your safety gear, so like first aids, flashlights, that type of thing. And then you'll have the food. And the food, I have it all here. I don't know if you can see it behind me. I have some of it. I have some in another pack over here. So we'll walk you through all that stuff as well. And we'll be finished up with my list here very shortly. So stay tuned. We'll be back, I'd say the next video we'll do our cook kit. And hope you guys are enjoying it. We'll talk to you later.